They say carnivals are full of magic and wonder, but no one warns you about the price. In the shadowy corners of Louisiana, one carnival promises to grant your deepest desires. If you're willing to trade something you can never get back. When my brother disappeared, the police said he probably ran away. But I knew better. His last message said, "Going to the carnival. Don't wait up." That was 2 weeks ago. Now, the carnival's gone, and so is he. No one remembers seeing it. No one even believes it was here. But I found a clue, and I'm going to follow it, even if it means risking everything. Carnivals have always had a strange allure. Bright lights, the scent of fried food, and laughter carried on the wind. It's where dreams come alive, or so they say. This particular carnival wasn't like the ones that roll into town every summer. Its name was Le Carnival des Rêves, the Carnival of Dreams. No advertisements, no flyers. It just appeared one night, taking over an empty lot on the outskirts of town. The stories began almost immediately, and people said you could step into a tent and leave with your wildest dreams fulfilled. Money, love, even a second chance at life. But whispers followed. No one saw the same faces twice. The carnival's visitors simply vanished. I didn't believe any of it until my brother Jake went missing. He'd always been the dreamer of the family. Life had hit him hard recently. Failing grades, fights at school, a breakup. When he saw the carnival lights, I imagine it felt like a sign. His text was the last I heard from him. Now, the only trace of the carnival is a faint imprint on the ground, where it stood, and a strange golden token I found under Jake's bed. It wasn't an ordinary coin. It shimmered like liquid in the light, with the words "one admission only" etched on the surface. I had to find out where the carnival went. The token was my first clue. Desperate, I turned to anyone who might know something. I asked the older residents of town, people who had lived here their whole lives. That's when I started hearing murmurs about the Carnival of Lost Souls. "Keep away," one old man told me. His eyes darted around the room as if the walls themselves might betray him. "It takes more than it gives. Always has." Another woman said, "If you've got a token, it means they're expecting you. You don't want to go." But I did. The token led me to the bayou. I followed rumors, shadows, and strange lights in the distance. It was nearly midnight when I found it. The carnival, nestled deep in the swamp, surrounded by a mist so thick it seemed alive. The air felt heavy as I approached. Music wafted toward me. A haunting melody played on an old calliope. The laughter of children echoed, but it didn't sound right. It was too sharp, too hollow. The entrance arch was massive, twisted metal forming the words "Le Carnival des Rêves." The token in my hand burned hot, almost urging me forward. The carnival was alive. Inside, it was everything I imagined and worse. Bright lights swirled in impossible patterns, and tents stretched endlessly in every direction. The crowd was a strange mix of people, some wearing tattered clothing, others dressed like they belonged in another century. "Looking for something?" a voice rasped behind me. I spun around to see a man with a painted smile that didn't reach his eyes. He was tall and thin, with a suit that shimmered like the token. "I'm looking for my brother," I said, trying to sound braver than I felt. The man's grin widened. "Everyone's looking for something here. Dreams fulfilled, fears erased. But nothing's free, darling. Nothing ever is." He gestured toward the nearest tent. "Step inside. The carnival will reveal what you seek." I knew I was walking into a trap, but I had no choice. The tent's interior was impossibly large, lined with mirrors that didn't reflect me. Instead, they showed Jake. In one mirror, he was laughing with our parents at the dinner table. In another, he was alone in a dark room, crying. Then, there he was, standing under the carnival lights, holding the same golden token. I reached for the mirror, but the surface rippled like water. The laughter around me grew louder, more sinister. "What do you want most?" the painted man asked, suddenly beside me. "My brother," I whispered. He tilted his head, studying me like a predator sizing up prey. "To find him, you'll have to play. The carnival has rules, and breaking them, well, let's just say you wouldn't like the consequences." I was given 3 tasks. Each one took me deeper into the carnival's dark heart. The first task was to retrieve a rose from the Garden of Forgotten Dreams. The garden was a maze of black thorns and vines that whispered secrets as I passed. The whispers grew louder, accusing, mocking. By the time I found the rose, my hands were bleeding, and my mind felt frayed. The second task was to ride the Ferris wheel, which wasn't as innocent as it seemed. Each rotation showed a memory. Mine, Jake's, and others I couldn't recognize. But they weren't just memories. They were choices. Every decision, every mistake, every regret. It was like living through them all over again. By the time I reached the final task, I understood the carnival's true nature. It didn't just grant dreams, it fed on them. The last task was the hardest, a game of chance against the carnival's master. If I won, Jake and I could leave. If I lost, well, no one ever really leaves. The painted man was the master, of course. His smile never wavered as he dealt the cards, his movements too smooth, too practiced. The game wasn't fair. I knew that from the start. But I didn't come this far to lose. In the end, I won. Not because I was lucky, but because I realized the carnival thrived on fear and doubt. By facing it head-on, I disrupted its power, if only for a moment. Jake and I escaped, but we weren't the same. The carnival marked us. We hear its music in our dreams, feel its pull in the quiet moments. They say it moves from town to town, always looking for new souls. So, if you see the lights, if you hear the calliope, don't go. No dream is worth the price. Subscribe for more stories or watch the next one, if you dare.